Hey there, blade lovers, and welcome back to a very special review and episode from This Old Sword Blade Reviews. That is me. Logo may change soon. Name may change soon. I'm contemplating it. We'll see. We'll see. I ain't feeling too old, so might have to take the old out of the name. We'll see. Anyway, what you're looking at is the design of a very well-known and established knife maker. I'm sorry, knife designer. He may make knives as well. His name is Darriel Caston. He goes by the name D Rocket Designs. And if you've been following Darriel, he has he designs knives that are, I don't know how to describe them. They're precise. They're like jewelry. He's an engineer by background, so um, he generally designs on the smaller side of, I would say, cutting implements. They're not always knives. There are so many different things. I know he had a design for Artisan, the Hyperion, that I gifted to Bob DeMarco, the knife junkie, about a year or so ago. Um, Beautiful Barstow style knife that Artisan made. And that was a larger one. That was 4 inches. Now, of late, 2023 and 2024, Darriel has been coming out with a great number of Ultem, right thumb issues, Ultem knives, and other implements. I mean, pens, and I'm going to make sure you've got his link for Instagram, because he puts out most of his info and new items on Instagram. This one is his Zulu OTF. And this is about a, what is it, about a 3-inch? I think it's about a 3-inch knife. 2 3/4 blade length. And did a review on this last September. 7 inches overall. This was my purchase. They are not inexpensive knives, but you're getting an incredible amount of innovation and detail and an unusual knife. So if you're looking for something that isn't just, you're stamped out, punched out, the design of the week from a well-known knife manufacturers, you're going to get this. Now, I don't know who Darriel uses for his OEM. Very often, that is not something that's publicly disclosed. And in my conversations back and forth with him through DM, that was not divulged. So we're going to skip over that. That's need to know sort of info, and I don't need to know. So this is the Zulu, fashioned after an African spearhead, and it's very similar to those if you look up Zulu spear. This one has a black, I believe, aluminum, possibly plastic button. Could be a black Ultem as well. I'm not entirely sure. He's used metal actuator buttons as well. Anyway, that's already been covered, but it's out there for compare. And now what I received yesterday for review and consideration by Darriel, and thank you so much, Darriel, for choosing my YouTube channel to be, I think, the first to review this, although these have been sold already. And they come in this nice little Pelican-style case. I'll tell you a quick story. I tried to pop this open the other day, and it had traveled by air, and there's no release valve on this. I will tell you, these darn things are hermetically sealed, because I had to get a little mini screwdriver after I lifted these latches and turn it to pop this case open, and it kind of went pop. So yeah, they are hermetically sealed, but look what we have inside. This is a whole new venture for this particular OTF knife. And this is the 007, and it is a California legal version of that Zulu. It's very close, but there's something particularly special about this one, it is using a Damascus laminate steel that is comprised of stainless steel, copper, and brass. Not bronze, but brass. But I'm going to check that for you right now. Yeah, so it is stainless, copper, and brass. We'll take another look at that, but in just a moment. But look at the difference in size between this almost 3-inch blade, 2 3/4 inch, and this minus 2-inch blade that makes it legal as an OTF in California. So we're looking at, make sure I got it in the frame. We're looking at ever so slightly less than a 2-inch sharpened edge, and that's what it needs to be. If we go right to the handle, it's a little bit more, but it's the edge that counts, I believe. Let's put the Zulu away. And before we wrap up, I'm going to show you one other little item that Darriel included with the package I received the other day. So now we've got an Ultem actuator, and it is very neatly machined. Let me see if I can back out a little. I always run into this issue with telephoto lenses. Okay, so this is a Ultem, and if you don't know anything about Ultem, it's also referred to as PEI, I believe, and it has a long chemical name. I have other reviews that tell you more about Ultem. I don't think I'm going to dive into that right now, but it is extremely stable. It is a high impact. I mean, it looks like it could break, like it's just, oh, it's yellow plastic. But no, it's a thermoplastic. It can withstand high heat. It is dimensionally stable, meaning that you can make a precise instrument like this from Ultem and have everything stay perfectly within spec, just like you're machining steel. Maybe even better, I don't know. I think it is the new Bakelite. We were obsessed with Bakelite for jewelry, for knife handles, and all of that a while ago. That was an insulating material going back, I think, to World War II, and had been used continually after that. Now, if I sound like I'm rambling, I'm making sure that I get the right terms and words and give you the right information to the best of my knowledge. And I don't have as much knowledge on all this stuff as Darriel does, so you're always welcome to ping him. He does respond back to you very quickly if you DM him through Instagram or inquire about a sale. Now, this has, let me close it up, very easy to open and close, very fidgety knife, by the way. You can see the entire mechanism inside, including the spring right there. It glows like amber, and I used to cut stones for a living, had my own little shop, and my partner made jewelry out of them. And I did cut some amber. It's quite soft. This obviously is like a space age amber. You either love the color or you don't. I get that. Okay, so we've got a deep carry clip. And it's going to stay right there because it is by virtue of the knife and where the button is, the switch, it is ambidextrous. So you put it in your right pocket, there's your thumb. Put it in your left pocket, there's your thumb. So don't need a switchable clip. The clip is universal. So I think what I wanted to do is give you some dimensions. Kind of stuck on my thoughts there for a moment. It is a tiny overall 5 1/8. All right, so 5.15, right? I think that's correct. And I was showing you the blade earlier. It is sharpened edge under 2 inches. Actual edge, actual blade to the handle, like 2 1/16. We'll call it a 2-inch blade. And what have we got for other dimensions? It's a pretty thin stock. I'm going to tell you more about the steel in just a moment because it is quite special as to how old it is and where it comes from and whatnot. So I'm in millimeters. Let me see if I can get a hold of, there we go, 2 millimeters, exactamundo. And Well, look at that. 007. Do you think maybe there's a relationship there? I just found that out. Okay. It's a 0.38 across the handle, and it is extremely light. The original Zulu, which, by the way, is also available in a Warncliffe, and this California legal one, I think, might be as well. You're really going to have to peruse Darriel's Instagram webpage to find out everything that's available. And that will also give you the link, which I'll provide as well, to his webpage. Let's see. We're in ounces, just double checking. It's a 1 ounce knife, folks. 1.035. I think we'll call that 1 ounce. Skosh more than an ounce. So let me tell you a little bit about the info that I got from Darriel on this steel, because I asked him to give me just a little bit more detail while you look at that beautiful blade. And this is the first time, as far as I know, that Darriel has used this steel. I could be wrong, but it came by way of Jim Corrado, who is a custom knife maker. And apparently Jim is married to a Japanese woman whose father was a sword polisher. And this steel that is being used in this California legal 007 is 25 years old. So it was made some time ago, and it is a custom made Damascus. So very special stuff. And I've got a little more information too. Not going to do any screenshots, so on and so forth. I'm always a little hesitant when I get DM info, how much of it to share. But I think that's sufficient to share with you to let you know that this is an amazing, special little knife. And as I said, very fidgety, very positive opening and closing. And there's the usual extremely tiny bit of wiggle there that you're going to get because of the tolerances you need with an OTF knife. Even Microtech, they all have that little bit of wiggle, although they are coming out with one that's supposed to be like a deadlock, similar to the Gav and Hawk deadlock that goes for mucho bucks. Let's take another look at that steel. I think I get it in focus there. So there you see layers. It's kind of difficult to distinguish the brass from the copper, but it is brass, copper, and stainless. It is Japanese-made steel. It is handmade steel. And the billet, if that's correct, or the sheets of it are 25 years old. Nice grooving here that we have in the Ultem handle. There's your stainless spring pocket clip. It is attached by means of a slot in the pommel of the handle. The whole thing is put together with screws, so potentially you could open this up for maintenance or for any repair should you have an issue with a knife, but I have had no issues with the Zulu as far as the opening and closing action of it go. Got a little more thunk with the Zulu simply because a little bigger, a little heavier blade, but it is still light. And any knife that has this much Ultem in it is definitely going to be light. I'm going to show you one other thing. Hold that thought. You guys that are into defense and think this might be a little too small, there's your Pical grip. I mean, no problem. And is this a Piercy knife? I'm not really going to get into doing edge sharpness. It does have a very fine edge, but here's its main claim to fame. Look at that. It's just effortless penetrating just about anything. So You could use it as a little EDC cutter for sure. Cut those hanging threads off your garments. But I got 4 fingers on this handle. Cap my thumb over there and ain't going nowhere. And as far as I know, that mechanism is going to be pretty secure. Now, what came along with this, and I think the first 50 people that purchased this 007 OTF with laminate blade get this X-Acto in Ultem. Isn't this a cool little thing? You thought that was small. Look at that. Look at that. Now, this has a very interesting lock mechanism in it. It's held in place by magnets. No springs there. So when I push up on this little bar and slide it forward, there's some grooves there, and it locks in. It locks in because this little bar gets drawn back across 2 other magnets underneath. I'm going to see if you can see that without sticking myself here. So as I pull that back and retract it, you're going to see that, there it goes, snap into place. And that was the magnets pulling it back into the lock position. That is really, really innovative. I'm not sure anyone's done that before. Maybe they have, but it's the first I've seen it. There it is again, locks open. So you can pull back all you want. And I was trying to figure this thing out when I first got it because no, there were no instructions. But you've got a nice little cutter there. Nice little X-Acto knife for cutting just about anything that an X-Acto knife can cut. And this thing, if that was an ounce, this is like nothing. I mean, let's look at them side by side here. So let's stack them up. Let me get the right end going there. Look at that. There's the threesome. How cool is that? You got a little X-Acto knife. You've got the 007 California legal OTF, and you've got the original Zulu. That again, as far as I know, does come in a variety of blade shapes, at least a Warncliffe on top of this double edge. You get them in the box that I showed you earlier. And this one can be nasty, so you don't want to be fooled and leave that open in your pocket for sure. But you know, you got provisions there for a keychain, right? Lanyard, what have you. Drop it in your pocket and put a little lanyard on there. It would be cool, or put it on your keys. And this Ultem stuff is tough. Very difficult to scratch it. I mean, it would really appear as though it's just, you know, some general plastic, but it ain't. So there you have. I'm going to give you one other compare. It might not be a fair comparison, but this is a knife from, who are they again? Good. I should know. Oh yeah, Cobra Tech. Something I got from White Mountain. It was about $100. It does have some type of Damascus there. It was, I think, a copy of Microtech Exoset keychain knife. Got a money clip knife. It's got a clip there and so on and so forth. Just for compare, size-wise, about the same size, very close to the same size. Give you a glass breaker with this one, or at least a piece of aluminum that could serve as one. That's my only other, I guess you'd call it California legal OTF knife. And then speaking of California legal, it does need to be under 2 inches. And it, I've been reading everywhere trying to figure out whether this falls into the dirk or dagger category. And I guess it does not when it is closed. And when it is open, it is simply a, when it's opened, it is simply a California legal OTF. So there you go. And previous clip did show a failure to open on that, but that was me. I was going a little bit too slow. But as you can see, it's very positive. That's going to happen now and then with just about any OTF knife. And as they break in, it happens less and less if it happens at all. Okay, folks, that is the D-Rocket Designs 007 with a very special laminate steel, which happens to be 007 thick. Love it. Be well, take care, and don't forget to give this vid a like and subscribe. I will be back with you soon. Take care.